Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome yet to another tutorial for dashboards and authentication. Now on this tutorial, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be manipulating the dashboard that we already had. Remember, we now know that, alright, when a user logs in, for now let me remove this path, and I'm going to also remove my authentications, and I'm going to go for my routes, whereby we can see this dashboard. All right, so remember, now when a user logs in, they see this dashboard that gives them this dashboard that says you are logged in, and the admin says you are logged in. So what you can just do is we can now just manipulate this dashboard so that it can become the same as the one for the admin. So what we just have to do is pretty much copy and paste code and then change certain concepts. But the first thing that you need, obviously, because you want to say that this is the admin dashboard. Are we together? So we can just say copy the whole thing, and then we can just paste it over here. And then over here, we can now just change a keyword and say, all right, so this is the administrator dashboard. This will automatically also give them one other aspect, which is the option to be able to log out and so forth and so forth. But then remember, the log out option is part of what you call a navigation pane. So sometimes what you can do is you can now just navigate, go to where you have what you call layouts. Layouts are pretty much what occurs on your page. So you've got your layout, and under your layout, what you need is a layout that allows you to log out, and that's pretty much almost at the end, and which is this one. So pretty much it's a form that allows you to log out. So you can copy this form, and after copying this form, you can now bring it to your admin dashboard. All right, for now, let me just remove this so that you see it with the log out on its own. And then I'm just going to paste the form over here. Then on our platform, let's log in again as an admin, and our admin account is the one with Craig, with the password 123456789. So as you can see, it says welcome to admin dashboard, and you've got a log out, which allows you to go back to this page. Now you can now add the top part of the dashboard so that it also comes out, and for you to do that, all we just need to do is also pick up an admin layout as well. So the idea behind now is you're now seeing that you've got different layouts that allow you to be able to log in, log out of a system. And mind you, this was just a form that allows you to log out of any session. Now, if we are to now add the nice dashboard that we have, and mind you, where's the nice dashboard coming in? A nice dashboard is coming in if we log in with this account, which is Jimulat, and 987654321. If we log in with this is the sort of like nice dashboard that we have. So we want to have this nice dashboard, but we also want it to be able to log out and so forth. So what we will do is we'll go back to our code. Are we together? Now within this code, all right, let's just log out so that it doesn't keep track of what is happening. And as you can see, even at the top here, it's telling you that we are on admin dashboard. Now, before we even add the top part, let me just show you. Remember, the admin dashboard was more of a route. So imagine that if I'm to add my own route and just say /admin dashboard, and I click enter. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake on that. I just added something. It will automatically take me to the admin dashboard, which means that a user or a student will be able to log into this dashboard or the admin side of the dashboard without having any authentication that is required. So we need to be able to stop that from happening. And for us to stop that from happening, we can create something that is known as middleware. Right? So for us to be able to create middleware, we still use our CMD. So middleware now acts as the interdependence go between on our system. So is our CMD. All right, PHP artisan make a middleware. Right now, we obviously have to give this middleware a name so that it knows that this is the interop between the two, and it's always advised that you start your middleware with a capital letter. So let's just call it student, or should we call it admin? Let's just call it admin, so that we know that the other one by default is that. All right, so we have a middleware that's been created called what? Admin. Now this middleware is going to be found inside our Laravel app HTTP middleware. So if we go inside, all right, let me close the databases. Let me also close the resources for now. And let me close authentication. So app HTTP, we've got a folder called middleware, which is this one. And we now have an HTTP called what? Admin, or we now have an admin middleware file. So this middleware file, if we are now to access it, you'll see that it's a class that requests or that gets functions and tells it what to do. Now, it mainly specifies where one can be able to access and where one cannot be able to access. So for it to work properly now, we just need to add a few lines of code within the specific function called handler. So inside our handler, we can now start by saying if, because we want to make sure that whoever is getting into the system is been authenticated. So if auth, by the way, auth is an authentication function. So if auth, another table called user, and that user on the column called user type, right, is obviously we want to make sure that this, if this person is not a student, so, or is not an admin, I mean, so if the authentication for the user table under the user type is not equal to the person that we defined as an admin, then it should do a task, which is pretty much limit them from accessing the system or the system. Now, this authentication, we might need to add it on our system. Yes, it already exists inside our controllers and HTTP. So if the person being authenticated is not an admin, we can just say return and redirect, or return and redirect them. But then this time we are not returning and redirecting them to a specific we're not returning and redirecting them to our our folder. We are just returning them to the dashboard view. Remember, we've got a view called dashboard inside our resources, inside our views. In as much as we've got this dashboard inside admin, we also have a dashboard which the user mainly sees. So we are saying that this return redirect is going to redirect them back onto this specific dashboard. So if the user type is not an admin, please give them this. Otherwise, just send them to the next request. But this means that the student is not able to see admin dashboard, but the dashboard, the admin can be able to see the student dashboard. So for us to be able to use the authentication method, we also have to add it inside our system by utilizing the use illuminate HTTP. So we remember we are now using a support system. So use illuminate support, and what is it supporting? It's supporting facades for what? For authentication. So use eliminate or use support for authentication for supports, like that, so that this authentication function will still be able to see this authentication system or authentication feature that exists within our system. And we save that. So meaning that now if this is going to be working, it is going to first, before it requires the response or anything, it'll make sure that someone is an admin for them to be able to see the admin dashboard. Otherwise, they are not. And before we even further on continue, we need to make sure that this middleware function exists and it knows where to get its information. So what we are going to do is we are going to go to inside app, we've got a file called bootstraps, and inside bootstraps we've got a file called app. We've got a folder called catch, and then we've got a file called app. Now this app lists all the middleware that exists within our system. Now already what we now need to do is we just have to add a specific tag on our middleware function. Now this middleware function will be able to, or will respond and do the task that we have told it to do. So we can create a variable. Let me just add space. And I think you can see that my function called middleware starts from here to here. So we can create a variable again called middleware. You can call it whatever you want. And let's just call it middleware. And it is going to use an alias. Now obviously an alias is a made-up name. It is going to use an alias, and mind you, alias is an array of information. It performs tasks. It's like a list. It's like the validation which does so many things. So middleware will code alias, it will perform a task. And what's that task? Number one, we have to specify that this is going to be for admin, and if it is for admin, it is going to do a task and allow the user to be able to get information. But where is the admin getting information? They're getting information inside the HTTP middleware and app. So it's going to be slash, then we specify the pathway slash HTTP, and we specify that this is going to be a middleware HTTP, and this is going to be a middleware, which is the folder. And then within this folder we are looking for one called admin, and admin will have a class. Now within this class, or if you have anything of your own that you need to specify, and then you can just add it onto this onto this pathway. So it's like you're now specifying as to who has access to what, who can do what, who can see certain information. So yeah, you can just either add with a semicolon, or there's no semicolon because it already knows. And then we now need to go and specify that when someone is logging in on our route, how do they go about it? So on our route that we created, we now get to add a middleware. So take a look at where your route ends. Your route ends at this pathway. So that, then we specify that this is going to have a middleware. It's going to have a middleware, and this middleware is going to do, or it is going to perform an authentication system, whereby it is going to authenticate that the person who was being authenticated is is an admin or an administrator. So you've got your home controller, which will have a class called index, and index will make sure that whoever is accessing it has been authenticated as as an administrator. And home controller will access the home controller, which we have inside over here. And before it views this, it will make sure that whoever is accessing the information is inside your admin.php. It will redirect inside app, it will do that, and then it will make sure that whoever is accessing the information is the right person. So let's test if our system has worked. Now let's log out first. All right, we log in. I want to log in as the student for now. So student is Craig 987654321. We click login. Oh, wait, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. All right, so Craig is our admin. Awesome. So let's log out on Craig and then log in on the other one, which is this one, 987654321. Mind you, this one is for the student. So we are logged in as the student. Now let's try and access the admin dashboard directly. Admin, then we add the admin route. As you can see, if we add admin over here, it is not changing the page. It is just refreshing but keeping us on the very same page, meaning that it is making sure that whoever is still logged in over here is the admin and no one, sorry, is the student, and the student cannot go to the admin dashboard. But if you are the student, if you're the admin, then you will have access to log in to that admin dashboard. Now, obviously what's left now is for me to just show you how to maybe have a specific path that is going to be seen by the user and so forth and so forth. So what we can do is we can just say specific item. So on our pathway, we can just say return redirect to this, or we can just return redirect them to a pathway that doesn't exist, that does just lead them astray, which is outside. So if we add admin over here, then we don't have to save, we just have to execute. As you can see, it will just redirect them to a pathway for the dashboard, and if they click dashboard, they come back still logged in on their on their system. So we are just manipulating the route path, that if they try to log in on a specific page as a student, they are not able to see it, and if they try to log in on a specific page as an admin, they're also going there as a student. Sorry, if the admin tries to log in, they're able to see whatever they want, but if it's a student who's logging in, then the student will not be able to see what the admin sees. So at the end of the day, this is the admin dashboard page. This is what the admin sees. This is the default dashboard, which we can copy its layout and come and paste it over here. Let's see. All right, let me just remove everything, paste it over here, call this admin dash, right? And then we come back, we log out. Let's log in as an admin. Craig that 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Sorry, so I keep forgetting as to which one is the admin, because they are both my emails. So Craig is the admin. All right. So Craig that 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. We log in. As you can see, it now shows you admin dashboard, and you can still log out, log in. And if we log in as the student, 987654321, you can see that you are now logged in as Craig, but it just says dashboard, whilst the other one is just saying admin dashboard. So you can now start adding custom features, custom pages that the admin gets to see, so forth and so forth. Thank you so much for joining us on this tutorial for authentication, and see you again on the next tutorial. Have a good one.